Hello, my name is Mike Johnson. I'm taking you an inside and outside video tour of this 2014 Toyota Sienna Limited Premium all-wheel drive, top of the line. And this specific van has never been sold to the public. This is a Toyota headquarters owned company vehicle. It's got the power opening and closing rear doors and rear hatch. It's got the dual view widescreen DVD rear entertainment system, premium navigation system, front and rear parking sonar sensors. It's got the blind spot monitor system with rear cross traffic alert. That was new for 2013 on the Sienna. And let's take a look. Operate the power doors from the remote control. This one also has remote engine start. So if I close the door, if I do it correctly, the engine should start right up for us, which is really nice for an all-wheel drive. Is ideal for going in the snow or slippery conditions. So press lock, lock, hold. If I did that right, it'll start. See, that starts blinking the lights, the engine starts up. So I remote started the engine from the remote control. Not too many of the Siennas have that. That's like a $500 option just for the remote start system. And this is a black one, and it's extremely clean. It's not all scratched up. On the end of this video, I'm going to go down and I'm going to go on a very detailed body inspection and show you all the body. It's very clean. There's no obvious scratches, and this is a high definition 1080p video. Very few rock chips on the front. This one has the dual power moonroof, so it's got the front tilt and slide power sunroof and the rear parade sunroof. Power open and close. You got these privacy shades for your little ones. When you got the little kids in the back there, sometimes they can't turn their heads and squint as good as some. But with the remote control, when you unlock the door, the engine turns off. There's privacy shades on both side doors and the rear. The power rear hatch is really nice. You can control the doors from multiple locations, and they have safety strips on the edges. So there's a pinch strip. So if somebody pinches the edge, like getting caught on a little arm or leg or anything, or big arm or leg, it automatically reverses the direction. Let's take a look at that again. So if the door is closing and something pinches, it reverses the direction of the door automatically. And again, this is a Toyota headquarters vehicle, which means this was never sold to the public. This was driven by Toyota employees, not Toyota dealership employees, Toyota headquarters, corporate reps, TV commercials, you know, use like that. So it was very well taken care of. It's extremely clean, way above average condition, this one. So let's go through and talk about the exterior systems before we go inside and show you the inside. So we're still talking about the exterior systems of the Sienna. I'm parked between a giant SUV, it's kind of far, but, and a giant semi-truck trailer that's completely blocking my view from the left and right. But this one has the dual view backup camera, and it's got the rear parking assist sonar and the blind spot monitor system. So if you look in the side of the steering wheel, you have BSM and parking assist. So the first thing I'm going to do on the exterior systems, I'm going to explain that. The dual view backup camera has a 180-degree panorama view or normal backup camera view. When you're on 180, if there's a vehicle approaching from down the street in either direction, you can see it on the backup camera display. And it has moving guidelines. So when I turn the steering wheel, those guidelines move. And you can change your guideline profiles if you want. I prefer the moving guidelines myself, but you can do whatever you want when you buy the vehicle. So let's go out and talk about the blind spot radar. In your rear view mirror, there's a little light here, a little LED light. You see that? That's new for 2013. This is a 14, so they've been around a year. But what it means is on the rear of the car, hidden underneath the rear bumper on the left and right side, is a radar unit scanning about 100 feet in all directions for about 200-degree perimeter. So if any vehicles are approaching from your blind spot in a parking lot, backing onto a main street, if a vehicle's approaching and you're in reverse, it's going to give you an audio warning so you can double check your perimeter before you back in front of somebody, and it'll help you to avoid a collision. That might also give you a better price on your insurance rates. When you're driving in the lanes on a straight line, if a vehicle is moving into or driving into your blind spot on either side, those lights will come on and warn you that somebody's in your blind spot. Now, if you activate your turn signal, if somebody's in your blind spot, the little light in your mirror is going to start flashing rapidly, and it'll warn you if you're checking your mirror, and it'll warn the other driver if they're watching out for themselves that there's a potential conflict. It's especially helpful when you're changing lanes. You're moving into a lane. Sometimes somebody sees the same open space in a lane next to you, and they come in from the other side, and then you have a interference problem because two cars trying to move into the same space. But the blind spot monitor is very helpful because it gives you an early warning, even if you don't spot it with your eye. It can help you to stop your lane change and avoid a collision. It's helped me out several times. I've never been involved in any kind of collisions with these safety equipped vehicles. And that parking assist, also if pedestrians are walking in the mall and they're getting close within about 25 feet, that'll give you additional warning. Now, the blind spot radar is different than the parking sonar. This also has the old school parking sonar sensors, these little round sensors on the bumper. Those work to about 1.5 feet, 2 feet, 18 inches roughly. When you're close to an object within about 2 feet, they'll start beeping, and it has it on the front as well. But the real thing that's new for 2013 and newer is that blind spot radar. Most of the nicer new cars are starting to get the blind spot radar. This one had it back in 2014 and it's fully operational. Let's go take a look at more of the inside systems. So I'm going to show and explain the third row seats in the Sienna Limited all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drives are different than the two-wheel drive Limiteds. The all-wheel drives don't get power third row seats. It's not available with all-wheel drive. But they're very easy to operate. You just release, lower it down flat to the floor, fold this over, and you're ready to move cargo. You can then, if you were going to go to Home Depot, now I personally have carried 4x8 sheets of plywood. You need to have a backrest clearance to set the seat up. I personally have gone to Home Depot and hauled 4x8 sheets of plywood in one of my Siennas in the past, and I was able to put a blanket all the way around the edge so that the wood didn't scratch up the sides. And with 4x8 sheets of plywood in a Sienna, you can close the doors, you can lock it, it'll fit 4x8 sheets, a stack of them. 10-foot lumber will fit with the doors closed, or you can haul passengers. Now the middle row seats remove, but you can see we have quite a bit of cargo room. It's very easy to flip these seats up. They're counterbalanced. And unlike the Honda Odyssey that can kill you if the seat flips over, these are very simple. They operate completely differently. They're much safer. You do need two hands to operate it. I recommend two hands, but I'm holding the camera and operating it. And then it's got quite a bit of cargo room back here. all the way back to fill up with your luggages for those long trips, so you don't need to put stuff on top. There's a lot more room. I've rented a Dodge Durango and other vehicles like that. There's much more room than these large SUVs like Chevy Tahoe, smaller. Chevy Tahoe is smaller inside. Dodge Durango is smaller inside. The Sienna has more interior room than any of these other vehicles. You got to go to like a Suburban to get more room, and then it's only slightly more room. So my name is Mike Johnson. Go on to the next phase of the video. So on this Limited, you do get the lounge recliner middle row seats, which have these little leg rests that pop up, so your rear seat occupants can get comfortable on long trips. And these seats slide or recline. They're on tracks, so you can put them all the way back. You can get comfortable back here on those long trips. If it's only 4 of you or 5, one person can get comfortable. And then you have your DVD entertainment system playing your movie there, and it's a widescreen format DVD entertainment system, so you can watch 2 different sources at the same time. So for example, the person on the left can watch the DVD while the person on the right plays a video game, or vice versa. Or you can go back to the movie and you can use the full screen size for your movie, so everybody can see the biggest possible picture, because it has that ultra zoom. It works really good, and you've got wireless headphones that you can connect. I'll give you a brand new set of headphones for this one to work with the video entertainment, and it does have 2 channels. It's got this sliding cup holder, and in the cup holder you have a video game port where you can plug in your video game console, and a 110 volt power supply here where you can plug in the video game console. So PlayStation or Xbox or Atari or whatever video game console you have, Nintendo, you could plug it in here and hook it up to the screen. It has a second 110 volt power outlet, 110 like your home outlets. It has a second one in the back here, so you can plug in your laptops and phone chargers and things and get the maximum current. And of course a 12 volt port. But now you've got these power strips that you can plug in all your chargers into this, and then everybody can bring on their USB ports and charge up all their gadgets for those long trips. The doors are power open and close. The rear hatch has different points, and then back here is your backup camera. I'm going to talk about that in a second here. This has the dual view backup camera. So we're inside the Sienna Limited. The first thing that you need to know is only the Limiteds give you driver memory settings for the seat and mirror. So you have button 1 and button 2 to remember his and hers, or driver 1 and driver 2 settings for both the driver seat and the mirror settings. So if you're switching drivers all the time, you got to get the Limited. That way you're not constantly annoying each other by adjusting each other's seats wrong. You just push the button, seat and mirrors are adjusted for you. It's very nice. It's part of the Limited package. Power windows, all the side windows including the rear quarters are power. There's a little switch down here to close that. And then you have your tilt and slide front power sunroof with a sunshade that you can close, and your rear giant parade sunroof, which I can close from the driver's seat, or there's a switch the passengers can close or open it from in back. But there's also a driver's lockout switch, so you can disable them from operating that. It's fully automatic air conditioning system in here, and you've got the 8-inch display premium navigation, which supports live traffic information. So with the live traffic, as I put it in reverse using my backup camera and my blind spot radar to back out of this blind parking space, we're gonna observe our backup camera and mirrors and go on a little drive around the parking lot while I show you more systems. So you've got Bluetooth hands-free, which will let you answer or hang up from a phone call. Voice command, which works with your phone or your navigation. So when you buy the car, you set up and sync your phone, and your music and your phone are synced wirelessly to the radio via Bluetooth. And the car, this one has the JBL 5.1 theater sound, surround sound system, like a home theater system in the car with a subwoofer. And so when you're playing movies, it sounds like you're at the movie theater in here, unless you put the kids on the wireless headphones. Then you don't have to listen to the movie if you don't want to. Maybe you've heard it 50 times and the kids could watch it 50 more. So you can put the kids on wireless headphones, and then you can listen to separate music or radio on the front. And so the navigation right now is set up for north orientation, but you can also select forward orientation at the top. And then I can zoom out. You can set a destination. This is actually a much nicer navigation system than the 2015 and newer. They went cheap. This is the top of the line, the best I've ever seen on the Sienna. And if you subscribe to XM Satellite, they'll send you live traffic information, so you get red, yellow, or green traffic updates live when you're driving. So you're headed into trouble, this navigation will warn you before you get into trouble, so you can take an alternate route, saving you a day, sometimes more. Very helpful. So I have the AC blasting away, and it's a dual front temperatures plus the rear zone, so 3 zones, 3 temperature zones. So you can have it warmer in the back, cooler on the left, or cooler on the right. Separate temperature zones for the different passengers. There's at least 14 drink holders in here. There's 2 there, 2 here, 2 here. And this one slides back so your rear passengers can have easier access to it. Bottle holders in the doors. Now, we're focused on the front system. So this Sienna also has HID xenon headlights, which strangely, a lot of the 2013s and older did not get the HID xenon. But when you do have it, there's a little front camera up here. This is your front camera. So it has automatic dimming high beams. So you can leave the high beams on all the time, and then if the front camera sees other traffic, it'll dim it automatically. And then you have an aiming control for your xenon headlight. So if you throw 5 or 6 passengers in here and a bunch of suitcases to take someone to the airport, maybe the rear end will weigh down a little bit. You can adjust the headlights. Or if you're out on Halloween and you see all the trick-or-treaters walking around and you don't want to blind the little kids, you can aim the headlights down or aim them up. It's a manual aiming control for the super bright HID xenon headlights. The mirrors are power folding, and they do have puddle lamps underneath. So when you're driving up in the mountains and you're all-wheel drive in the snow and you're about to get out in the dark, the puddle lamps on the bottom of the mirror will light up the area underneath your door so you can see what you're about to step into, which is really nice. Up your driver's mirror has HomeLink programmable garage door openers and electrochromic auto dimming glass, which means there's no flip-floppy switch on the bottom to make it light or dark. It has a light sensor. And if you have some monster truck behind you with blasting bright headlights, the glass actually darkens. Plus you have tinted privacy glass as well. Up on the overhead console you have a conversation mirror, so you can keep your eye on your rear seat passengers. I'm going to turn the fan speed down so I don't get too much wind noise. But conversation mirror, and it doubles as a sunglass holder. Now, the rear parade sunroof has really cool blue LED accent lighting, which you can turn on or off. This has the SOS kind of like General Motors OnStar system. So if you're living in remote areas and you're worried about sliding off and being unconscious in a car accident, you can enable and subscribe to the SOS system. And if the car's ever in an accident with the airbag deployment, the car can call itself for help using the cellular phone network, even if you can't reach your phone, or even if you might not have signal for your digital phone. This car has its own cellular support through the SOS system. So I can open and close the power doors from the driver's seat, and you see they're all opening up, and I can close them by pushing the button right here as well. And you see we have the widescreen video entertainment system, but I can see my mirror here. I can see just fine out the back window. It does not intrude. Some of the older DVD homemade get it at the Best Buy stores, they used to hang down and block your rear view, but not this one. Nice widescreen format, and you can still see right out the mirror. So let's continue to talk and wrap up about the front electronic gadgets and gizmos that we have here. It does have the smart key, so right now we're looking at the touch sensor for the touchscreen. So we have a movie playing, as you see on the front screen. It's also playing on the back screen. But if you got little kids, maybe you want to control the movie from the driver's seat. So if the parking brake is set, you can actually watch the same movie. And I can press, like it's selecting play, I press enter and the movie starts playing. And it's playing the movie. And again, it's got the 5.1 home theater surround sound. I've got touchscreen control, so I can rewind or fast forward or operate my radio from here, do whatever I want. But let's say you're sitting waiting in the car with little ones in the back, you can watch the same movie they're watching. And I cannot underemphasize how good it sounds when you turn up the 5.1 home theater surround sound.
But no, we're not really friends.
Not friends?
It's nice and loud, thunderous subwoofer. But I mentioned you can have the kids watching on headphones. So I can select my Bluetooth, which I have some music playing on my phone. So instead of listening to the movie, you can be listening to the smartphone. So we're playing some Katy Perry there. You've got audio control, and then everything is right there. It tells you the artist and title. You've got nice little folder tabs: AM, FM, satellite, CD, DVD, auxiliary, or USB. This does have a USB port, so you can plug in a hard disk full of music and listen to that as well. But you got the premium JBL sound system. It also has a 4-disc CD player, so you can load 4 CDs right into the screen here. The CD player, load 1 disc at a time. I recommend, these get a little jumpy. I recommend using the Bluetooth music. It's better, but it works really well. Whatever you want to listen to, everything seems to be working. So got the bright sun shining in. We've got sun visors here. They can telescope out, retract in. They got little lights in them for vanity, little mirrors, head curtain airbags, handle pulls, reading lights, lots of reading lights in here, and a master reading light disable, so you can disable all the reading lights from the driver's seat in case the little ones forgot to turn them off. Very nice setup. And I mentioned it's got the Bluetooth right here, so the nice thing is when your phone is connected, you've got your call history. You don't ever have to touch your phone. Everything will be right here. Your missed calls, your dialed calls, your contacts will import right into the radio. You even get the dial pad here, so you can just dial the number. This radio can actually connect to two different devices at the same time, one for music and one for phone, which is nice. Current odometer, everybody says they want to see the odometer reading. 77,571 is your current odometer reading. And then this is the last year that you get the wood inlaid steering wheel. The 2015s, they took the wood away. You still get the wood gear shift knob, the wood steering wheel on the limited package. No longer available on the 15s. I personally really like this. It's nice. And I found that the radio of the 2014s works much better than the 2015s. Interestingly enough. The inspection portion of the video, we're going to go through and try to show you the body. Extremely clean. Now this was owned by Toyota, so it was taken care of by Toyota corporate headquarters. Service at Toyota dealers, so all the service is up to par on this one. It was not privately owned. It was owned by Toyota corporate headquarters, and they maintained it in accordance with Toyota specifications. There was a little bit of minor body work on this. In the area of the left fender, left door, and slider door, there was a scratch that at some point on the left side that was repaired. Nothing major, but at some point there was some kind of damage on the left side, minor damage. And when you're looking at the bodywork of a vehicle and you want to know how bad it is to measure, you can take a look on some, not all, but on the 2014s, they have the vehicle identification number stickers hidden on locations on the vehicle, like right underneath this rubber strip right here. Sometimes Toyota makes these vehicles a company car because when they're brand new, they're damaged in transport. You know, unloading them from the trains, and they get too close to a pole at the parking lot, and then they scratch it up, and then they say, oh shoot, you damaged a new car, we can't sell it as new now. So they'll make it a Toyota corporate headquarters company vehicle, and then they'll use it in TV commercials or let executives drive it around, as long as they're safe. So those are the original VIN stickers on those panels. See, even the rear hatch has its original VIN sticker. Another thing you can do, you can look at these welds. The robots in the factory weld these panels together, and if body work is done on a critical area like these quarter panels, then they would have to be replaced by a human, not by a robot, so the welds won't look the same, and you can check for that. But this one looks mint condition. It does not have the sticker here because this had paintwork done it, but it does have the sticker on the quarter panel, and it does have its stickers in place on what's called the B pillar. So this was built in 9 of 13 as a 2014. My wife has a 2014 Sienna Limited. Hers is white. It's about the same age as this one, but Toyota liked this. They drove it a lot. It's got 70,000 miles on it. The tires and everything were maintained. It's got run flat tires on it. Now this has the more modern run flat tires, so they ride just about as soft as the regular tires do, which is kind of nice. And the fronts are almost brand new. There's a lot of tread on these front tires here. So if we get down and we take a look at the tire tread to see how deep that is. These are the Bridgestone run flat 18-inch tires. Nice and thick. And what that means is this is an all-wheel drive. You can take this out in the mud, in the snow, and if you have the misfortune of running over a nail or something in the middle of nowhere, you don't have to get out and change a spare tire. You can keep on driving. These, even with no air, you can still drive these vehicles until you get to a safe location. Then you can air it up or have the tire repaired. Even right on the side of the road, you can have the tire repaired. that rim's not in bad shape. There are, you know, little scratches, nothing major, little tiny scratches on the rim. That's inevitable. They make these cars so the rims will get little scratches, gives them an excuse to sell you a new one, a new car. They like to sell new cars. Toyota sells new cars, not used cars. They do selling used cars more as a courtesy to keep the new cars flowing, because that's how they make all their money. Right rear rim is almost completely flawless. And then you have the chrome lower body accent molding. There's not really any scratches to point out. It does have the mud guards, so when you drive through the puddles, it's not going to splash the side of the car. It's going to stay nice and clean. Right front rim, also in nice condition. It's not all scratched up. There's only a handful of small, little tiny scratches on the wheels. There may be a few, not much, but just a little rock chip here or there. But you're not paying $54,000 for this van. You're saving money. So Toyotas are known to last hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles. We're not having any problems with this van at all right now. So it's kind of hard to find them with a limited package and a double sunroofs. They're fairly rare. If you want it, give me a call before somebody else does. Call me direct on my phone, 951-681-2101. Now that's a land phone that will forward to my cell phone. You cannot text me at that number. You have to call me on a phone, and I can receive your phone calls. I take calls between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. 7 days a week, but I recommend calling more towards between 10 and 5. But I do accept calls up to sometimes as late as 9 p.m. Give me a call. We'll go from there. Mike Johnson, 951-681-2101. Thank you. Vehicle, I'm going to take a look through the Carfax report, which I have here on my phone. So it shows this was built on September of 2013 as a 2014. First registered in 10/24/14. Registered as a corporate fleet vehicle, which means it was a company car, and it had the service at 5,000 miles. You had the service at 10,000 miles, 15,000 miles. It's had its services. 20,000 miles, right exactly on schedule. 25,000 miles service, showing up on the Carfax. 31,000 mile service. 36,000 mile service. 38,000 miles emissions inspection. Then they moved it to Texas. Still a Toyota company car. 41,000 mile service. On 12 of 15, it had a damage report. That's the winter time. Damage reported involving left side impact, very minor. Left front damage reported, very minor damage reported. Vehicle towed, airbags did not deploy. But it does say it was very minor damage. That's when it was hit on the left side. But that was December. That's winter time. So that means they were probably driving it in the snow and ice, and they slid a little bit and got stuck. Did a little damage to the car. That's the point of an all-wheel drive, is you take it out in the snow and you're still safe. So no big deal. On 2/20 of 16, it had the 44,000 mile service, 50,000 miles service. Renewed the registration, 54,000 mile service. And 54,000 miles, 59,000 miles, 64,000 miles, all the maintenance records. 69,000 miles, 70,000 miles, 75,000 miles. It's had all its services done on schedule, and they are all reflected on the computer, on the Carfax, that anybody can verify. Very nice vehicle, very clean, My name is Mike Johnson. Give me a call, 951-681-2101. Thank you.